Lagos State has been recording a number of cases of COVID-19 in schools. Sometimes last month we heard that a school had a total of 181 cases of COVID-19. And unfortunately last week also in Lagos State we had that another school had 5 cases, 4 the teachers and 1 student had the COVID-19 in school. Now, parents are so much afraid that is my child safe in school? Some are even saying probably the school should be locked down until we see the end of COVID-19. But we know that we have been told that COVID-19 has come to stay. It's something that will not go so soon. So does it mean that our lives has got to be, some sort of at a standstill? Or we just continue to manage, the pandemic as it comes. And the students, the children, most especially, even the adults are finding it difficult to cope with the COVID-19 rules. How much more these students? All right, this morning I have an educationist on phone with me this morning in the person of RonkePosh Adeni. She's going to be giving us some insight on what schools are doing, how they are trying to cope, and how they're trying to keep children safe even from this pandemic. And we know that a lot of us, someone like me, also have our children in the boarding houses. So how are they coping? Are we sure that these children are safe? Ronke, good morning. Yes, can you hear me, Ronke? Good morning.
I can hear you loud and clear.
Yes, how are you this morning?
I am very well. How are you?
I'm good. It's good to have you again on the show. You know, when I want to talk about schools, I call no other person but you, because I know that you are going to give it to my viewers the way it is.
Always a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
We have actually a very small population of the children in the school. And those children are spread across the classes and they finish by 1 o'clock. So it's a really short day for the children. And they are also mostly preschoolers. They're the ones that are giving the parents the headache at home. So the entire primary school, they are actually learning from the home.
Oh, okay. So in your own case, you have not resumed fully, physical learning has not resumed fully. Is that what you're saying?
It hasn't resumed fully. The parents are not yet comfortable with the COVID-19 in the country, and because we did such an amazing job since March, they're comfortable.
Wow, that's beautiful. That's good to know that some schools are still having the online school. You know that a lot of schools, they've got a lot of challenges. Some schools are not buoyant enough to be able to afford the online school continuously. Now, on the part of the parents, a lot of cost it goes into this. You have to think of the data, you have to think of the generator, and a lot of things going into place. So we find out that a lot of schools are, have fully resumed their physical education, and some of them are most of them are even in the boarding houses. So in this case, how do you think they will be able to maintain the COVID-19 rules and still, keep the children safe?
Well, coincidentally, I was speaking to a head of school at a boarding school,
okay,
one of our parents here at RonkePosh, and she was telling me the challenges that they have. And what I think to find out is that a number of parents just want to get on with their lives. Some of them, their children are in schools that are not in the same state, so they don't really have an option. So what they do is just close their eyes and send their children to school in face, which is probably what you are also, everybody sending their children to school now. He just say, God, please protect my children. That's really the prayer of the typical parent. Now, with the schools, it is a challenge, especially when you have a large population. You have children that are interacting. School is a social environment. It is not an environment. It's not a morgue or a mortuary or whatever its case may be. Children will socialize. They will interact with each other.
Exactly.
The dining table, they will share. The sport area, they will share. They do group activities. There's no way, as much as you try to separate them, there will be some sort of interaction. The bathrooms that they use, the toilets, the toilet handles, the staircase handles. There will be places where the children will interact. Yes, you will clean, you will sanitize. That will work. However, how often is it going to be? So we find that perhaps we are becoming more immune to it. I'm not quoting anything, but I think that perhaps a lot of people are asymptomatic and they're getting it, it's running through their systems, and they are fine. And at the same time, we have heard in the media about a number of schools that have had it in their boarding schools. So it is kind of like dicey. I mean, I've heard the school say it's not a death sentence, which it was a bit sensitive in my own opinion. However, we need to understand that it is still a risk. So we must continue to ensure that these children are doing as much as possible in terms of staying away from each other, not sharing material like spoons, cutlery, water bottles. You know, we're constantly cleaning, sanitizing, even encouraging the children to clean themselves. Because I know some of these schools, again, they wait for cleaners to come and clean in the classroom. The children are not even doing anything. So that is the nature of some schools. So children should also be made to clean web surfaces as well, because a number of people can't do it for the entire school. It is a challenge that we just have to close our eyes and face, because parents need to get on with their life, and they have already even started getting on with their lives, hence their children in the schools.
So, because, you know, like we all know that COVID-19 has come to stay, has come to live with us. So it's like everybody is just trying to cope with it one way or the other. Now, I want to go to the use of face masks. You know, the use of face masks, for me as a person, if I don't use the disposable face mask, that's a surgical face mask, I don't get comfortable with the cotton, the material, cloth-like face masks. Now, for the children, I know that when my daughter was going to school, I gave her so many surgical face masks, but no children for wood and what they are. In about a week, the matron was on my case. Your daughter's face mask is finished, blah and blah and blah. You know, and I had to, okay, you're going to make do with, you know, the cotton material face mask that I know she might not, you know, even be able to, you know, put it on for as long period as so much long hours, you know, like she would have done with the other one. And I know that a lot of children and parents will be facing such a situation. Now, what do you think? You know, like you have said, they will mingle together, they'll do so many things together. And we know that, you know, to an extent, keeping safe, the face mask, the face shield, I know that they compel them in their school to use the face mask and the face shield. Do you think that will help a little bit?
It will help a little bit. Even that face mask, like you said, you even can wear the surgical ones. I still struggle because normally I'm a shallow breather. So forget face mask, but I just like to stay in my home if I don't have to go out. Because I don't even breathe deeply and properly even before the COVID-19. So I cannot imagine. So I really hate using those masks. So what I encourage is that the children should have the shield as well, especially the smaller ones. Because they've been said that, oh, it passes through the smaller ones, they're pretty asymptomatic, it doesn't really kill them. But last week I still heard on TV about a 5-year-old that died of the COVID-19. So it's like, it now seems like a game of try and error. It's just like you're gambling or you're just throwing a dice, it can be anybody. So we must be on top of our game. So yes, the surgical mask, the masks are difficult to wear for long periods of time, but the shield helps as well.
Okay.
The shield helps. So even if you have it under your chin as a beard, like many people do, have your shield in addition. And also ensure that the schools, and especially those boarding schools, are giving a lot of fruit to boost the immunity of the children. And there's a lot of vitamins that the children are also having, lots of vegetables. So they should try and incorporate more of this into their diet so that it can make them more robust and be able to be less susceptible to catching any virus or any COVID-19. So those are the few things that I can add in addition to what people are already doing.
Okay, finally, before I let you go, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, they directed, you know, at the time the schools were opening that schools should conduct risk assessment on a weekly basis. Do you think this is visible?
No.
Oh my God.
I need to expatiate on that one because the thing is, look at the size of some schools. A risk assessment in some schools. But having said that, there are different kinds of assessments. So let me not display any sort of ignorance.
Okay.
So it could be a case of you are assessing how many people had it this week.
Okay.
What happened? So you're just tracking what has happened in the class. However, there's an overall risk assessment, which I doubt is the case. So if you're just tracking the number of people that had it, you're tracking the situation. So a very short one-pager, two-pager report that you're doing on a weekly basis, that is possible. But if you're doing a very thorough risk assessment, some of them can even take a week. The risk assessment itself can actually take a week. So what type of tests are they also saying that people should do? I don't believe that every week they want you to do a COVID-19 test on every child in the school, put something through their nostrils and things like that. That is not the sort of assessment. How many children were sick? How many children came to school? What are those little things that happened in the school? Those sort of reports, yes, that is possible. But if it's a detailed, thorough kind of thing, it's not going to work. And I think the perception from speaking to many people, a lot of schools think that they want them to do this COVID-19 test on a weekly basis. But that's not the case.
Thank you very much, Ronke. It's always nice talking to you on the show. Thank you very much.
Have a good day.
Same here. Wow, what an enlightening time with Ronke. Okay, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. I have more gist for you on the show. Stay tuned.